there was a good, in the last, maybe like, it's like a couple of months ago, there was in a 2-year period, the gym was actually closed to the public for over a year. Like the government had shut us down completely. So we were training in private. We had like government officials come in and try and shut us down a few times. We found a legal loophole. So there was a group of like 4 or 5 of us that were just turning up every day, just staying sane, training. Obviously hard to stay motivated because nothing on the horizon, no chance to leave the state or anything like that. But since then, I think 2 of the 4 guys are now champions. So I'd love it to make it 3 out of the 4, you know.
Eternal MMA 64. Damn, they're at 64 now, man. They've been putting in work. These guys at Eternal. February 26th, main event, lightweight title is on the line. Aidan, we haven't done one of these in a couple of years, but we're heading right into a title fight for yourself. How did this just come together? You know what I mean? You getting this title shot.
Well, it's actually crazy. I was actually matched for another fight, and it's from what I've heard, either people are injured or don't want him because he was my last fight. I fought him, I say, midway through last year, maybe. And he's been super active, which has been awesome. I've struggled to get fights just with COVID in Melbourne, Victoria. It's been pretty brutal trying to get out. So I'm starting to calm down a little bit now. But yeah, so I had another fight, and I got the call from my team saying, oh, they're offering you this fight. And I was like, oh, like the only reason I didn't want to take it was because I signed a contract for another fight. And my coaches basically said, look, this is like a huge opportunity. This is the fight we wanted to build our way to, which since I lost to Jack in 2021, start of 2021, it's like, okay, well, let's go back to the drawing board, build back up and get another shot at him before he gets to the UFC. And plans aligned, came up. I talked to the guys at Hex who the fight was through, and they were super cool. I talked to my opponent. He was super cool. They all let me out, and so now I'm going for it.
Yeah, exactly, man. You got to take the opportunities when they come because they might not come again for a while. And those guys that passed up this fight, they're going to be kicking themselves in the butt, man, later on.
Exactly. It's like if you don't want to fight the best guy in the country, why are you doing it?
Yeah, and it's a hotbed, man. Australia's a hotbed. And let's just dig into that last fight. You know, it was a 3-rounder. He won a decision. What is your assessment of how that fight played out and what you got to utilize in it?
There's a lot I could have done better. This stuff I could have done worse too. Started off how I thought it would go. I had the edge on him on the striking, and I think I'm pretty confident he went in there thinking he was going to mix it up a little bit, do a bit of everything. But then I kicked him in the head about 20 seconds in, and then from then on out, he was glued to me. Like, wouldn't give me space to do much. Even on the ground, he wouldn't posture up that often. But he was active, and like he won fair and square. I can't take that away from him. And yeah, so I think end of the first round, I threw up a triangle, switched it to an omoplata, and I actually managed to get a real decent bite in the shoulder lock. But I hadn't really done a whole lot of that specific move. I just knew there was something there, and so I've worked on that a lot more. Hopefully I can get that again. That'd be cool. But yeah, there's a lot I can do better, and I've been working pretty hard since that fight to fix those errors. And on his part, I don't think he's going to come with a whole lot different, just because there's too much on the line for him. So I think he'll probably take the safest route to victory, which would be to attempt to do the same thing again.
Have you seen that a lot in his fights, even after your fight? You know what I mean, in Eternal?
Funnily enough, he fought completely differently on the next fight. Because like it rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. He basically like held me down. He played a very safe game plan, which is fine. You know, that's on me to fix that. But then he got on the mic saying about how he's going to be the most exciting fighter and all that. I was like, oh, come on, bro. He just like kind of laid on me. But like, you know, respect to him. He got it done. But then the next fight, he came out and beat the shit out of the Eternal lightweight champion, finished him in the first round with his striking and all that. I was like, okay, no, fair enough. You stuck to your word. Good for you. And then he fought Brenton Mumford, who's a pretty like handy striker, and then he went back to that grindy game plan again. I think he thought, okay, let's play it safe, get him down to the ground, and he got quick submission. I think it was in like halfway through the first round. So again, can't fault him. Wasn't a boring match. He got the finish quickly, but he never got close to finishing me.
Maybe that's a little hint of like what's to come. So in your preparations, you kind of focus on that a little bit more. Is that what you're thinking?
I mean, I hope so. Like, I love that. I do well in those situations where we're just fighting. You know, let's get chaotic and scramble and go for shit and see who can come up with a finish. That's where I shine. But I feel like obviously there's a huge amount on the line for both of us, but for him, I know he's just been signed to a big management agency. I think it's Danny Rube, and he's got teammates in the UFC now. There has to be eyes on him. He's on a 3-fight win streak, eternal champ on Fight Pass. I feel like if he gets it over me again, he's probably pretty safe to get a call up to the Contender Series or something like that. So there's a huge amount on the line for him, and it just would feel reckless for him to come in wild when he knows what I can do on the feet. So I think it'll be a similar game plan, but who knows? I'll be ready for whatever.
What's on the line for you though?
Man, this one's an interesting one because it's like I'm in a bit of a weird spot in my career where I'm on a 3-fight skid, but they're against world-class opponents. Like the first two weren't Aussies. The Takahashi he fought for the Shudo title, double black belt, judo and jiu-jitsu. Alan Omer, who's killing it in Bellator. And then Jack's the top #1 lightweight in Australia, or consensus #1 lightweight in Australia at the moment. So it's like I have my confidence hasn't taken a hit, but man, it's like on paper it's not looking good. This would change everything for me. I've never wanted it more than this.
And since the Becker fight, you had that one fight that was supposed to happen at Battleground. The event was postponed. What exactly happened with that?
COVID, man. It's really made it hard to run events in Australia, and the states all keep closing off to each other. So especially in Victoria, which is one of the harder hit states with it, we've been shut out from the rest of the country pretty consistently. So I've been actively trying to get fights since then. It just hasn't worked out because can't bring people from states. There's no lightweights in Victoria that want to fight me. They're all coming up, they're a bit earlier. So it's been hard. Been hard to stay motivated, but it's like the planets have aligned. Huge opportunities falling in my lap, so I'm going for it.
And yeah, I seen you pretty active on social media, calling people out, trying to get fights, but no one's biting. No,
man, I've been saying some wild shit, and no one cares.
Yeah, I seen you and Dave Martinez a little bit.
It's all one-way traffic, man. Yeah. All one-way traffic. That dude does not care about his honor at all.
No. Well, he's a pretty chill, the chillest of chill, right? Dave Martinez.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, if someone was saying the shit I've been saying, then I'd be fighting him, but nah, he's not biting. Yeah. He doesn't want it.
Well, that it works out for you, man, because you got this title fight coming up, and let's talk about the last year of just training and being in the grind and what you work on and maybe even just obstacles of just like you said, COVID. What has it been like?
It's been going for about almost 2 years. It's kind of it feels like we're out of it now because they're just kind of letting it rip now finally because everyone's vaccinated. But there was in the last maybe a couple months ago, there was in a 2-year period, the gym was actually closed to the public for over a year. The government had shut us down completely. So we were training in private. We had government officials come in and try and shut us down a few times. We found a legal loophole. So there was a group of 4 or 5 of us that were just turning up every day, just staying sane, training. Obviously hard to stay motivated because nothing on the horizon, no chance to leave the state or anything like that. But since then, I think 2 of the 4 guys are now champions. So I'd love it to make it 3 out of the 4. It'd be really cool. It's a lot's come out of that period because we're just training to get better. We weren't training to get ready for anything. We were just focusing on honing our craft, and it's paying off.
Financially, was the government taking care of everybody? Because you said that gym was closed for a year. That's crazy.
Yeah, mental. So we were lucky in the sense that we had a group of members that opted to keep paying, to keep our overheads down. And the government was sending out a payment, which without that we would have been rioting. But having said that, it wasn't matching what we were making. So we managed to survive, which is better than a lot of other businesses. So I can't complain. But yeah, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. I just feel for the people that didn't have those support systems in place so they could make it through it because it was rough, man. It was real rough.
Yeah, one thing about fighters, they can live off a smaller amount of money, man. They're the best at that, I think.
Oh yeah. I it's insane. When I look back at what I used to make a week and how I survived off that, it blows my mind. But yeah, we're good at that.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, let's talk about the small group of training, man. How was that? I guess you can't reveal too much to us, but You know what I mean? Like getting in there, and did you guys have kind of like a set schedule for yourselves? Like, okay, this day we're gonna focus on this, and we're gonna like, how did you get the techniques? Was your coaches there the whole time?
So my coach was there the whole time, and about 2 amateurs and 2 of the pros were able to turn up. Other guys had work, and we had to be careful what hours work, and we had neighbours snitching us out all the time. So it's crazy. Yeah, it got crazy over here. It got real. People were. So we had government officials come in a few times and check us out, and like literally got read like the like my rights and all that, and said anything I was gonna, but nothing came of it. Luckily, I think because we could prove we were professional athletes or working for competition, we found legal loopholes to make it through, and basically we just turned up, made sure we trained every day. Like if I hadn't done that, I would have lost my mind. But we just kind of went with the flow. We'd work on like a new technique, try some experimental stuff out, and then we'd just keep honing it and see if it worked. And the cool thing was when we opened back up and we had like a lot of the other fighters start coming back and start trying this new stuff. Like, oh, this works for sure. Like, so we just kind of had fun with it.
Yeah, so it must have been fun, like you said, getting back and having people come in and then get into sparring sessions with people, and you're just showing a whole nother side of your skill set.
It was really cool. Really, like the craziest thing is we reopened like friggin' 6 or 7 times because they shut us down. There was that many lockdowns in Melbourne. I think it was 7 lockdowns. So it happened, but no, it was awesome. And when we finally did reopen it was great. It took a while for a lot of people to come back. I think a lot of people were, like tentative or scared or just not used to seeing other people because it's been 2 years of living at home. But no, we're back into it now. I can't complain. Life's good.
How is it being in like a real training camp, man, with the gyms open and everything?
It's cool. It's home. Like it's how I've lived my life for so long. It's cool to be back into that. And it was rough getting started, but like my fitness has picked up real quick. I'm working crazy. Like I was up at 5:30 this morning doing hill sprints. Sorry, but no, it's cool. It's like I have purpose again.
Yeah, it must have been like mentally, it's just refreshing, right? Because physically, you've been doing things the whole time. It's just your mind.
Or to have like an extra drive behind it, like there's a set goal now. It's not just okay, let's like work on this. It's I'm getting ready for this motherfucker. Let's go. Like yeah. So no, it's been good. It's been really motivating.
So how do you see this fight playing out, man? I know the first one went a certain way. How do you envision this one?
I imagine Jack's going to be a lot more confident now because he's on a 3-fight tear. He's been finishing like the top guys in the first round, so he probably thinks he's going to do the same to me. But at the same time, I also imagine if I scare him, if I get close to clipping him or I clip him, he's going to go straight back to what he did before. Yeah, I think he'll do that anyway. He can say his game plan is to do whatever, but his game plan is to take me down and ground me out. It's just what it is. Like, because if we do a 5-round stand-up fight, I'm winning that fight. I just am. It's just how it works. And that's okay. It doesn't mean he's a great fighter. It's just I'm a better striker than him. It's just what it is. But I think I have some new tools to play with and different scenarios that are going to make it a bit harder for him to get me where he wants me. And I'm just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
All right. A couple more questions before I let you go. Judging, man, it's been something that has been under the microscope a lot, all over the world. Open scoring is starting to be implemented little by little in certain promotions. What are your thoughts on open scoring, and how do you think it will impact fights?
I don't hate it. I don't hate the idea. It's kind of like a foreign concept to me because I've never had to deal with it. But I mean, it'd make the last round of fights a lot more exciting because it's like if you're behind, then it changes things. But yeah, I mean, I can't see the harm in it. Like, what's the downside? It takes away the suspense of the decision. But either way, if it's a super close fight, you're not going to know that 3rd round or the 5th round score until it comes out. So I don't hate it, and I think it probably makes judges a bit more accountable too, because if they come up with some bullshit score in the middle of the round, the crowd's going to let them know, and so they should, because there's some atrocious scoring out there.
Yeah, there is. And like when you look at a round, let's say the first minute, one of the guys is like piecing the dude off on the feet, right, damaging him, and then for 4 minutes, the other guy takes him down and just kind of like holds him there. It seems like when we get into those situations, the guy that held them there wins the round, right? So you know, this could be a situation for yourself, right, in this upcoming fight.
Yeah, well, the weirdest thing is, like, when you look at how they actually supposed to be scoring fights now, that shouldn't be the case. You know, it's about effective striking and grappling, and like I'm lucky enough to have some judges that train out of our gym, and they're bastards because they're almost super biased against us because they don't want to look biased. But like talking to them about how they score, it seems like significant strikes are king compared to anything else. Like, because effective grappling isn't holding someone down and doing nothing with it. Effective grappling is, you know, getting good positions and essentially ground and pounding them out or getting very close to getting submissions. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a hard one, right? Like, I just feel like there's a lot of inconsistent scoring, and even in some of the bigger leagues, there's some real judges that just seem to keep getting hired somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't even think it matters if it's in the biggest promotions in the world or the smallest promotions in the world. There's some great judges at the lower level promotions, at the regional promotions, that would probably be perfect for the bigger promotions. They just don't have the opportunity to go over there and show their skills, man. But yeah, there's a problem like from the bottom to the top with judging. And I think it's just like experimenting with different scoring or something needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Like, it's hard to think of like a solid solution. I don't know if you get 5 judges instead of 3, you know, but then it's like, where do you find them? Like, yeah, it's hard. Open scoring is probably a good way to hold them a bit more accountable. But yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one, and don't get me wrong, it's a hard job. It's a thankless job, you know. But having said that, God, they're fucking useless sometimes, aren't they?
yeah, we see it all the time. February 26th, man, Eternal MMA 64 main event, lightweight title. Aidan, you get your opportunity. I'm happy for you, man. It's going to be an exciting fight. Revenge is on your mind, and there's a shiny belt on the line. It's always good that way.
Oh, yeah, I like gold, man.